Once upon a time, in a quiet forest, filled with tall trees and singing birds, there lived a sweet little bird with shiny feathers and a heart as kind as the morning sun. She was loved by all the forest creatures for her cheerful songs and friendly ways. Now, this little bird had a very strange habit. She wrote down everything that happened to her, whether it was something that made her happy or something that hurt her feelings. She would write it down on a small stone. At first, everyone thought this was quite odd, but they didn't pay much attention to it. They all assumed that she just liked collecting pretty stones and writing on them. But there was another reason why she did this. She believed that good memories should be cherished because they bring smiles to our faces, and bad memories should be written down so we could let go of them. Every day, she would wake up before sunrise and immediately go in search of a stone that caught her fancy. She would pick it up, examine it, and then use her sharp beak to write down whatever had happened to her the day before. Once she had written on the stone, she put it inside a small cloth bag that she carried everywhere with her. At first, the bag felt light as air, like it wasn't even there, and she loved looking through her bag, remembering all the wonderful things that had happened to her. But as the days turned into weeks and months, the bag began to feel heavier. Her wings grew tired from carrying the extra weight, and she couldn't fly as high or as fast as she used to. One day, as she was flying, she met an old and wise owl sitting on a branch. "Hello," said the owl in his deep voice. "Why do you carry that bag?" he asked, tilting his head to one side. The little bird stopped for a moment. "Oh, this bag holds my life, my joys, pains, and lessons," she replied proudly. "I keep it with me at all times, so I never forget them." The owl remained silent for a moment, thinking about what the little bird had said. "Are you living in today, or are you flying with yesterday on your back?" he finally asked. The little bird didn't understand what the owl meant, so she shook her head and flew away. She thought that carrying her bag made her special, because it reminded her of all the things that had happened to her. It made her who she was. As the seasons changed and the years went by, the bag became heavier and heavier. The little bird struggled to carry it, and her wings ached every day. She became slower and less cheerful than before. She still wrote down everything that happened to her on the stones, but now she didn't even look at the bag. All she wanted to do was keep flying so she could find somewhere to rest. Then one day, weeks later, when the little bird was flying home after a long day of searching for food, the bag became too heavy to carry. She struggled to keep it with her as she flew, and suddenly, with a snap, the string holding the bag broke. The bag slipped out of her grasp and fell to the ground. The little bird cried out in panic as she watched it fall. She tried to turn around and go back for it, but her wings were too weak. She could barely stay in the air. As she watched the bag falling further and further away from her, she realized that she no longer wanted to carry the weight of her past with her. She understood that some things were better left behind. And just like that, the little bird flew on without looking back. She didn't want to carry the stones anymore. The bag tumbled through the air and landed in a soft patch of grass. The little bird flew back to the owl and told him what had happened. "I don't have to carry the bag anymore," she said, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. The owl nodded understandingly. Sometimes we hold on to things that we think make us who we are, but they only weigh us down and prevent us from moving forward. You are right, little bird. Memories are important, but they shouldn't control us. They should guide us. The little bird spent the rest of her days flying freely through the forest, feeling lighter and happier than she had ever felt before. She no longer carried the weight of her past with her, and she was able to enjoy each day as it came. One day, many years later, the owl was flying back to his nest when he noticed something strange on the ground. He swooped down to take a closer look and saw the bag of stones lying in the grass. It was covered in dirt and leaves, and some of the stones had been broken by the weight of the others. The owl picked up the bag and examined it, wondering what it was doing there. He remembered the little bird and how she had struggled to carry the weight of her past. He wondered if she had finally learned to let go. Just then, the little bird flew past him, and the owl called out to her, "Hey, little bird, I found this bag of stones. Did you drop it?" The little bird stopped and looked at the bag. A sad smile appeared on her face as she realized that she still had the habit of writing on stones, but she no longer carried them with her. She explained to the AOL that she had learned her lesson the hard way, but now she understood that memories were meant to guide us, not to hold us back. The little bird and the wise old owl continued to be friends until the end of their lives. They often talked about the importance of letting go of the past and living in the present. The owl would tell her stories about the forest and the little bird, would sing him songs that she had learned from her travels. They enjoyed each other as company and learned a lot from each other about life and the world around them. The little bird lived to be very old, and when it was time for her to pass on, she knew that she had lived a good life. She had learned many lessons along the way, but the most important lesson of all was to forgive, forget, and let go. One day, as the little bird was sitting on a branch, watching the sun rise over the forest, she closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She thought about all the good times that she had shared with the owl and all the lessons that he had taught her. She was grateful for the time they had spent together and the wisdom that he had shared with her. With a happy sigh, she closed her eyes one last time and passed on, knowing that she was leaving the forest in good hands. The wise old owl stayed in the forest for many more years, watching over the animals and teaching the young birds how to fly. He never forgot the little bird and the lessons that she had taught him. He missed her cheerful songs and the way she always seemed to find the best berries. But he knew that she had lived a good life, and that she was in a better place now. As the years passed, the owl began to feel the weight of his age. His feathers were ruffled and his eyesight wasn't as sharp as it used to be, but he didn't mind. He had lived a long and happy life, and he was ready to pass on the torch to the next generation. One day, a young owl approached him and asked for his help. "I want to learn how to be wise, like you, Mr. Owl," he said. The old owl smiled and replied, "Being wise isn't about being old, young one. It's about being kind, patient, and understanding." He then told the young owl all the things that he had learned over the years, including the important lesson he had learned from the little bird. The young owl listened attentively and thanked the old owl for his wisdom. The old owl felt good knowing that he had helped the young owl and that the cycle of wisdom would continue. Soon after, the old owl passed on peacefully in his sleep, content with the life he had lived and the lessons he had shared. So remember, friends, like the little bird, we all have the tendency to hold on to past memories, both happy and painful. However, carrying the past makes us tired and prevents us from living fully in the present. True happiness comes from forgiving, forgetting, and letting go. By practicing these habits, we can learn to live in the present moment, be grateful for what we have, and move forward with a light heart, ready to embrace new challenges and opportunities. It is also important to be patient with ourselves, as we learn to let go of the past and to be light-hearted and joyful in our approach to life. Sometimes it's the little things that make life the most beautiful. Thank you for listening to the story of the little bird and the wise old owl. I hope you enjoyed this tale and the lesson it teaches us about letting go of the past and living in the present. If you liked this story, don't forget to hit the like button below and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more wonderful stories like this one. Until next time, take care and remember to always find time for the little things in life.